some AB. Thanks for coming to the panel for Revenge of the Nerds. Give it up for Revenge of the Nerds. As mentioned in the movie American Splendor. So we're going to bring out 4 of the actors. I love this movie. I grew up watching it. I went on to have a career in the sphere of nerd, from being on the Nerds podcast and then to Mystery Science Theater 3000. This is my Venn. I am in the middle of this Venn diagram. So I want to bring out our actors who are all amazing actors in their own right, and they really were incredible in this movie. Let's go to start off. We're going to bring out Don Gibb, known as Ogre. You can sit anywhere you want. Hi! Brian, I told your name already as well. Brian Toshi, and of course, Mr. Robert Carradine, everybody. Thank you. I didn't tell me where to sit. I just chose the middle seat because it's a power position.
It's a power position.
Yeah.
Power position. This is a power position. Hello.
Give it up for the Nerds of Vengeance, everybody.
Right. There's a lot of people here. Oh my God. Whoa.
So the way I like to do this, I like to keep it loose. So we're going to have a conversation about this movie, about acting in this movie, about the cultural impact of this movie. At any time, if someone has a question, raise your hand. I will pick on you. And then, that's a weird thing to say, a nerd thing. I will not pick on you. I will choose you to be the person who asks a question, but just make this freewheeling and fun. So let's first just go down the line and have everybody talk about it, what they were doing in their career before this movie, where they were at, and does he need help?
Oh, you're talking to it?
Yeah.
Talking to the fuzzy part.
I was looking to see, I thought it was a telescope.
Yeah.
I can't see anything, Curtis.
No, it's fine. Brian, why don't you start?
Brian?
Look at the everybody. I actually lost the accent. I'm sounding more Yiddish as I get older. Hi everybody, I'm Brian. Same persona. I love you guys. And so what was the question?
I'm just gonna have everyone introduce.
What did we do?
No, what were you doing in your career before this movie, and how'd you end up getting to be a part of it?
Working at a sushi restaurant, that's where we want to go.
You've been acting a ton before this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a bunch of different TV series beforehand. I was working a lot, but the way I got Revenge of the Nerds is, do you remember After MASH? After MASH was when Jamie Farr married this Asian gal, and it was on 20th Century Fox. And so basically, and she played my sister in my first TV series with Yul Brynner on CBS. Anna and the King. It was the takeoff of The King and I. And we had the same producers as MASH. The same people. We were back to back on Sundays. Okay, done. I'm almost done.
It's all about
I just started.
It's all about me.
Okay. And so, you know the Asian people who might be right for the role of Takashi? And so she said, yeah, I know this guy, Brian Toshi. And so I came in, and wouldn't you know it, they hired me for Takashi.
Were you the one Asian friend that was invited to?
I was the one Asian friend. Actually, they saw a ton of people. I mean, they really did. You know, they went to their local sushi restaurant.
Yeah.
You're right.
And it just so happened, I just happened to come in on a good day when everybody was feeling good. And so they said, oh, we're going to take care. So that's how.
Great. Now, I'll skip Dom. Just go down and see if we can really put him to sleep. Curtis.
No, Don.
It was a bit. It was a joke.
No, come on. We love you. We love you.
You will get confused and wander off.
I do get confused a lot, you know that for sure. Girls, boys, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. So where does Don begin and Ogre end? Nowhere?
Never. They're the same person.
They're the Alpha Omega.
That's right. I am the stud of the thing. The boys will tell you that they do everything that I do, and when I say we're going, we go. You nerds, everyone in. That's right. Thank you, brother.
As a tough man,
Yes, thank
how does it feel to be shoved into this world of nerds? It must make you angry, because you're a football player.
You know, that's why I should have got an Academy Award for this. Which I was surprised that I didn't get nominated, as I played, you know, a nerd in the second one, and it was quite the reach for me, you know what I'm saying? Because I ain't a nerd, you nerd. So there you go. I'll go back to sleep now. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Don Gibb, everybody. Don Gibb. You as well. It's like everyone here was acting a ton leading up to this movie, and your no exception here. And
Except for me.
yeah.
Right now, I was used to work at the 7-Eleven. I got hired because they thought I looked like Ogre.
He said, hire me or else.
I'm tired of the 7-Eleven.
That's right.
It's a good job. It's an honest job.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I had done one movie before this, which was considered actually a pretty good movie. And then I did this movie, and
Yeah, that was a step down for you, sir. That's like going from Gone to the Wind to a porn film.
Don was in Gone with the Wind.
You know the wind.
And I was
Got the wind something awful.
Dog in the
and the
wind.
horse in Ben-Hur.
Yeah, which was his finest role up to this point. And so I had done this movie, and they were looking for Booger, but they were looking really for sort of Ogre. They were looking for somebody who would be the nerd version of Ogre. And I wasn't on the face of it the nerd version of Ogre, but they took me anyway, and now I'm still with him after all these years.
Yeah.
Which is
The nerd version of Ogre. There you go, right there.
Curtis
Take a look at it.
Armstrong.
If you see your
That's
children
not
come out
cool.
like that, it's a nerd.
Yeah. No, but hey, Curtis, tell them what movie it was that you were in before Revenge of the Nerds.
His people did this movie.
Some of them did.
Your people.
Yeah.
The movie was called Risky Business.
Starring Curtis Armstrong with Tom Cruise.
Also starring Tom Cruise.
And featuring Tom Cruise.
Don Gibb was in there somewhere.
Yeah, that was my first movie. But what was great about that movie was that a lot of people who were making movies and TV later in the decades, just shut up, in the 80s were like influenced. They loved that movie. Yeah, still here now. And so that was how I wound up getting Revenge of the Nerds. I got Better Off Dead because of that. I got Moonlighting because of that. All of those. Thank you, John. All of those jobs were because people admired that movie. Not me particularly. They just wanted somebody who had been close to it.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, stunning. You know.
Brilliant.
Anyway, so that was what I'd been doing up till then. And then after that, I was basically doing the same stuff.
Curtis Armstrong is a Shakespearean actor, Shakespearean trained actor.
Oh, yeah.
It's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
I mean, he is actually, if you know him, the antithesis of Booger in real life, but the guy is an amazing actor.
As you can tell from Booger.
Well, yes, because I had nothing to do with Booger. I was not at all like Booger, right?
That's correct.
That's correct. Bobby, wake up. That's correct.
So, although I was somewhat embarrassed because of the nose picking, I said embarrassed.
Oh, embarrassed. Yeah,
because of the nose picking and the belching.
Ew. Yeah.
What?
A rematch.
Right.
Oh, I don't think so. Neither of us have those belches in us any. Well, speaking for myself, I don't have those belches in me anymore.
Oh, I do.
Okay. I forgot what I was saying.
Yeah, but I was falling asleep on that one anyway.
Yeah, I knew as soon as I started that whole thing that I was going to get trouble. So, yeah.
God.
All right. Quiet. I know.
It's the best to last, or save the best for last, though, right?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, time for the one-man show.
I'm getting up the top.
I did that on purpose.
See, you threw everybody right to you.
For effect.
That's the sign of
That's the sign of a pro.
Yeah. He's been around, Bobby.
Oh, boy.
Do you need help, Robert?
Oh, it's fine.
No, man, it pinched me. That's been a blister. Okay, so, thanks for coming to our Q&A. When the Revenge of the Nerds came along, I was not interested. I just heard that title and I said, I'm out. I'm not a nerd, I'm not going to play a nerd.
You're a very cool guy. You were doing a lot of cool roles.
I was doing cool roles. I was living in the Hollywood Hills, riding my Triumph motorcycle around at tremendous speed. And basically, being a ne'er-do-well.
What speed are you talking? 45 miles an hour?
No.
72?
There might be a policeman here. So anyway, my agent convinced me to go in and meet these people about Revenge of the Nerds. And I went in to meet them, and the director and I kind of hated each other on sight. And I left. And I thought, okay, that's that. And about a week later, they said, okay, they want you to come in and audition. And I'm thinking, oh man, I've got to audition for this? They said, yeah, listen, it's a studio picture. Get your act together, you're going in. So I said, okay, I'm going in. I had really long hair at the time, and of course the motorcycle. So I got a regular boy's haircut, and I stopped at an eyeglass store to get the glasses. And I'm looking at these glasses, and they're all like $200-300 for these frames. And this is back in 1984. I mean, that's a lot of money. And the optometrist comes out and says, can I help you? I said, well, not at these prices. He says, your eyes are very important, son. You don't want to put proper glasses in front of your eyes. I said, well, I whispered because I didn't want anybody in the store to hear me say nerd. So I said to the guy, I've got to play a nerd. He goes, oh, a nerd? Okay. And I'm like, so he goes in the back and he gets his shoebox full of glasses. He blows the dust off the top, opens it up, pulls out the engineering glasses that you see in Apollo 13 on all those actors, and I put them on. They were perfect. So I went to the interview, and I got there, and I'm sitting on the outskirts of the casting room, and this lady comes out, and she looks around, she looks right at me, she goes back in. She comes out, like 10 minutes later, she looks right at me, goes back in. She comes out like 10 minutes later, and I go, hey, I've been here since 2 o'clock, and she went, Bobby? Like she couldn't believe it was me. That's how severe the transformation was, and that's pretty much what got me the role. I go over to the director, and I say, hey, I don't know what to do for the laugh. He said, well, here, watch this. And he put the audition tape from James Cromwell into the machine. And I watched it. He does the laugh. And I thought, oh, man, that's it. So I go over to James and I go, hey, man, your laugh is really damaged. He said, that's not my laugh. I go, it's not? He said, no. I said, it's a technique? He said, yeah. He said, oh, show it to me. We got to laugh the same way. And that's how the laugh was born.
Yeah. And so, like, you guys do the movie, and it comes out, like, when you hear the term nerd, and like the idea, like the cartoon character, like the thing that basically this movie almost established as the idea, the caricature of a nerd, it's like, did you have any people in your life that you knew that were like that you kind of based it off of, or anything like that?
I based it off my brother Christopher, who's an Imagineer with Disney. And when I told him that, he got really pissed. But the next year, when the Disney Halloween party happened, he went dressed as me.
And like, did you?
Well, I think that we represented a whole cross-section of real people.
Yeah.
And what was so cool is that we kind of, after Revenge of the Nerds, I think the term nerd became part of the American lexicon, or the worldwide lexicon. Nobody really knew what a nerd was. It kind of started off as an article in a magazine that they kind of embellished and created this movie about. But I think we really kind of represented a real cross-section of people that were real people. And so, You know, as far as if you knew anybody in particular, no. I mean, I just knew a slew of like Asian people. Dorks.
Yeah.
Dorks. We all, I mean, we can all kind of relate to being a nerd at some point or another, right?
All the nerds in this audience, I can tell, I can smell it. Nerds everywhere.
It was like the original Sex in the City, where it's like any kind of nerd on the spectrum can watch it and be like, oh, I'm like Booger, or I'm like this, yeah.
That's right.
Nobody's like Ogre, so knock it off.
And where did you guys shoot the movie? How long did it take? Was like, you know, it seemed like a pretty fun time. There was a ton of young people.
I have to say something really cool.
Oh yeah.
Studios, when you do a film, it's rare and now never where they would bring the actors, the main actors, in for rehearsals or anything else. You just basically go, if you go on location, you go right to the project and start filming right away. We were so lucky because we filmed this in Tucson, Arizona, and they brought many of us, the main people, like 3 weeks prior to, but they had to keep us separate from Doc here, and then and the jocks. He was a jock, but he became a nerd. But so what happened was we were able to come in and kind of bond 3 weeks prior to principal photography, which is kind of a really cool thing. And for some reason, if you look at it, you'll see the relationships that we had in the film, and to this day, I mean, we love each other. We love each other. We do. Honestly, after all these years, we love each other. And it really made a difference, I think, in the way that we kind of, what you see on camera. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like, just like...
Why did you sit me next to Curtis? I told you I wanted to be there. Bobby.
What? You want to switch seats? I don't care.
No, we're good. I'll sit here.
All right, just for now.
Did that movie, you nerd.
No, after the movie came out,
I'm sorry, guys.
after the movie came out, I got to be in a movie with Billy D. Williams called Number One with a Bullet.
Yes.
I got to play a police detective. Ain't nothing nerdy about that.
I was just kind of like, from nerds, I mean, there was a lot of high-profile kind of thing. It was really, I just felt very lucky to be a part of it. And I was lucky, I had a couple other franchises. I was in the Police Academy movies, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies. But I have to tell you, people ask me of all the different stuff I've done, what's my favorite film? And I have to say, Revenge of the Nerds is absolutely by far the best. The story, I mean, because these guys these people, everybody is the best.
Yeah.
Love them.
How about the movie you do, Fortune Cookie?
Oh, Fortune Cookie, that was not me! That was not my role!
Super appropriate humor.
I'm never appropriate. Okay, and what are you going to do about it, boy? Well,
Fortune Cookie was in the 50s. Maybe 60s.
are any of you offended? I'm sorry.
Next question.
Rely on the people you're working with to be like, you know, fun to hang out with. Like, you never know what's going to happen with the project. It's like, you guys were having fun while shooting it, but did you have any idea that was it maybe just another movie?
No, none at all. In fact, I wound up writing a book about this.
It's a great book. It's such a great book.
Too. Go get the book.
Okay, no, down. My point in bringing it up is I interviewed everybody. I interviewed all of these guys and the director and the writers and all of that because I wanted to get other people's views on making the movie.
Yeah.
And the one thing that was across the board is what Bobby said was the fact that everyone sort of went into it. That's exactly what it was like. They were dreading it because they didn't want to make the movie, and we sort of went in going, okay, we're making. I mean, it's one of those things where if you were in the business and you'd say that you were making a movie, and they would say, well, what's it called? And you'd go, I don't think they've settled on a title yet.
I love Captain Record. It's called what?
What's up?
Revenge of the Wild.
Yeah.
You know, I just finished a movie called, and they're like, oh yeah, great. Well, we'll see that in porno films. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's not what it is.
It was, everybody was embarrassed.
Yeah.
The guys who wrote it were embarrassed. And no one really wanted to have anything to do with it. And then when 20th Century Fox saw the
rough cut.
Huh?
The rough cut, that one?
Yeah, the rough cut. Then they started really getting cold feet. And they
hated it.
They didn't like it at all.
hated it.
Johnny Dangerous, remember they got almost that movie.
Yeah.
The Michael Keaton movie, Johnny Dangerously?
That's right.
Oh, the Keaton.
They told me,
Michael Keaton.
they're going to put all the money into Johnny Dangerously because you're full of crap.
Yeah.
And I
They're
said,
giving
what?
Escobar more money.
He turned my mic down. He turned my mic down.
That's me. But while it's down, I'll talk. So that's right. I think you can see through it. Well, they had laid, these plans that they were going to release the movie into all these theaters across the country, and suddenly they were releasing it into like 40. And I mean, that's an exaggeration, but they didn't think that they had a hit at all. And then it came out, and suddenly,
Yeah, and the guy who's in charge of how many theaters get the film, that guy, when he saw the film, I think it was maybe 2 months before, we all went to a rough cut, and he was sitting right behind us, and he said, "Peace up," and walked out of the
Cool.
Yeah, and we were all really bummed out that that's what happened. We thought we were sunk, and then that sneak preview happened, and we blew the roof off the place.
Yeah, great.
On Monday, after the film came out, other studios were calling that guy and saying, "Didn't you know what you had? Why didn't you release that wine? How could you have missed this?" Anyhow, he got fired.
yes.
Yeah.
They released it ultimately in August, right? I mean, it was
Yeah.
like at the end of August,
Yeah.
dead time to release a movie, and they had no publicity for it. It was, the thing about cons and nerds, and that movie in particular, and videotape, all that stuff was happening at the same time. Where you were reaching the point where you could watch a movie that was your favorite movie that was gone in a week. You could buy it and watch it at home. And then the cons started, and you started meeting all of these people who had the same taste that you did. And it went from being in a garage with your friends, pretending to be your favorite characters, to coming to a place with hundreds of your friends who also love the same things that you do. And it was all happening simultaneously over a period of 3-4 years or so. And it's one of the reasons why nerds became so successful, is it was just a time.
It was just hitting the zeitgeist.
And it was at a time.
It did.
It just all went from there, and we were really lucky. It was a timing thing.
Yeah, the only thing that, gets a little old is do the laugh.
Yeah.
But unprompted, you've done it a couple times. You've done it on past. The movie, like, being like what it is, and like it's like there's a thing where actors are just trying to get roles. They're just trying to work. They're just trying to keep your health insurance. They're just trying to keep on working. And you never really know what's going to take off. But like, would you like have guests? Just like, are there other things that you've done in your time that like you thought, oh well, this is going to hit just like Nerds, or this is going to like be huge as well?
No, nobody knows, man.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, that's the thing. If studios knew which were going to be hits, they'll spend $200 million just in advertising, but they still don't know if it's going to be hit for sure or not.
Yeah.
And especially when we were doing this, we had no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of an interesting thing, because as Curtis was saying, the studio executives did not like the dailies, the rushes, which basically when you film stuff, they send it back to the executives back at the studio in Hollywood, and they basically, determine whether or not it's worthwhile,
Yeah, they might
keep
give some more money,
going, whatever. And they say they have notes and everything else, and the first notes about our show was not very good.
Was it feeling funny as you were shooting it though? Was it at least like?
I thought so.
Well, I think.
Yeah, but you are really amused easily.
I can't argue with with that. I'm amused being here looking at all you nerds.
But you know what's like a cool thing is that on the first day of principal photography, after the 3 weeks we got to meet, we were in the first shot that I recall was we were in a gymnasium and we were the people who did not get picked for fraternities and sororities, right? And so that first day, Curtis and I, we're all in there, but Curtis and I are sitting on the cot, and you know when you're filming, it's really a long process, and it's rather boring, and you got to keep yourselves occupied or you're going to like just fall asleep. It's horrible. So he and I are playing checkers, we're playing chess, and then we started playing cards with each other, and we start kind of coming up with these little bits, and we start making ourselves laugh on some of this stuff, and we start coming up with these bits, and we said, you know what? Let's show the director.
Yeah, I think Curtis can explain how it actually happened.
Actually, it's close.
Okay,
But I remember.
He knows. He wrote the book.
We were sitting on cots next to each other, and Jeff Canoe, who's the director, came by, and he was going to shoot Bobby and Tony, and he said, "You guys come up with something, because you're next." And so we started doing the bit, and he was saying, you know, oh, I think I've got a crush.
I think I have a crush.
I don't remember whether it was that one or the next one, but we came up with that running thing, which went on then for the rest of the movie. It would be Brian and me, and he would be the innocent, and I would be the guy asshole.
But collectively we would just keep coming up, and
there was a lot of improvisation. They didn't. I mean, not while the camera was rolling, but we would come up with ideas, and that was.
And now the director was like receptive to that, just like kind of keeping it live, having that spark where you guys actually connect.
Oh yeah, I mean, things are happening in the moment, and sometimes they'd be repeated, and sometimes the director would say, well, you got that out of your system.
Right. Yeah.
No, he actually said that to me.
Really?
Yeah, it's a scene with the kissing booth, and I walk up in front of Betty, and I pull out like 500 tickets, you know?
Yeah.
And whatever I did, he goes, yeah, you got that out of your system.
Yeah, I remember Bobby. We were watching after this panty raid. We were watching all the cameras we set in for this panty raid. But I remember Bobby had this big cereal bowl, and he had all the cereal in it. But he was actually drinking beer in the cereal
with the beer. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was like the coolest thing.
Yeah, the kid that threw me the beer, he was, I don't remember what we called him. We had these nondescript nerds that were kind of around. Anyhow, I said, throw me a beer. Man, I caught it. I was like, cool.
So those were just the filler
nerds, yeah.
Yeah, not principal nerds.
We beat them up after the movie was over. We beat them up.
Yeah.
So he beat them up.
Don, were you, they said they kind of got to hang out and connect with. Did you get to, like, you and Ted McGinley get to hang out, or like John? Do you hate Ted McGinley? What was that? Not a Married with Children fan, I'm assuming.
No, we really didn't hang out. I hung out by myself because I was a big star of the film, and I had my own hotel, so nobody hung out with me because I just, they used to have to drive me to the set of the limousine, and I think that's what happened.
Well, the reason he had his own hotel is he hit his head on the other hotel.
Yeah.
It was too short for him.
He was Mr. Ogre to us.
Being a superstar, it's a little hard to even do these panels.
Yeah.
I like to be paid for everything.
Does anyone have any questions? If you have questions? This one? Right.
Yeah. So you guys are talking about like filling time and stuff like that, when like the cameras weren't
Talking about counting time and stuff.
So when did the pranks go too far? I mean,
when did the pranks go too far?
A lot of energy in the movie. When did pranks go too far? Like
the broken bones. When the bones got broken, that was too far.
You guys like a good prank? Someone did when you guys were.
Yeah. Was there any on-set hijinks? There's a lot of young people on set. You guys are out in Arizona, and I'm sure there's a lot of boring moments. There was
always hijinks.
Yeah, but it was on a professional level. It wasn't like none of the pranks were mean. Okay, it's professional hijinks. Yeah. Next.
right here.
What is, for each one of you, what is your favorite line in the movie?
What is each of your favorite line from the movie? Robert, this is another chance to do the laugh.
It's going to be a great year.
That's a good line. I'll give you mine.
For me, in the movie, Curtis has the best line. I don't know if he's going to say it.
It's
but
not
for me, that's my favorite line in the movie.
What?
Come on, Curtis, you got
No, I'm not going to say what my line is, stupid. No, here's the thing. My favorite line about piece of dialogue in the movie is at the very end, and it's not mine. It's what Bobby and Tony do at the pep rally when they talk about what it's like being a nerd. And I am telling you, after all those years, I still get teary-eyed when I hear it. Well, I mean, that's obviously after all Don's dialogue. Because Don's dialogue is obviously the best. But next to that was Bobby and Tony's.
Oh, thank you, Curtis.
I think my favorite maybe, what does CAT really spell dog?
I feel like that one too. That was my other
There you go.
Better have been your other favorite, or you're not going to sell a book to this lady.
You know, it's funny because there were so many things in the movie that were not scripted that they kept in that we just kind of kept going and everything else. But it seems like a lot of people really like me to repeat this one. So I'll repeat it for you now.
There you go.
Hair pie! Hair pie! Who do you got?
Hello there. Thank you very much for coming to our little convention here.
Thank you.
And I hope you're being treated very well in the Sunshine State, as we've got a lot of nice warm weather here. And I must confess that, yes, I am a nerd.
Thank you.
Even to the point where my degree's in physics at the University of West Florida here in Pensacon.
I had a nuclear science engineering. Were we in the same school?
Not exactly. That's all right. That's all right.
I'm sorry.
When Revenge of the Nerds came out, I was participating in the high school National Science Olympiad. Oh, yeah. How humorous and fun it was to solve some of those college social problems with, intelligence and science.
Well, thank you so much for sharing.
Okay, the question is, when you did the yes, I'm sorry. When we're doing the tricycle race through there, were you was it physically strenuous to make sure that you were riding faster as the other contestants were supposed to be playing that they were not?
Okay, I'll make it real easy. This is the thing. This is the behind-the-scenes story of the tricycle race, right? In the script, it says Toshi wins the tricycle race. And basically the concept is you have to go around the track, and every time you go around the track, you take a beer. Well, there was this thing called trichloromethylene, which is this little antidote to what you drink where you're not going to get drunk. Okay, so we're filming in Tucson, Arizona, in this big arena. It's a beautiful day, and the lead actors, we come in, and the prop guy goes, "Okay, you have a choice. We can give you a soda, and we'll dress it to look like a beer, or you can have a cold beer while you're filming."
Yeah.
We said, "Honey, silly?"
Yeah, we're in Arizona.
Yeah, in Arizona. Of course it's going to be a cold beer. But the thing is, you forget that, when you're filming, there's always a lot of different angles and different shots and the constant repeat of doing this. So Takashi's going around, drinking a beer, going around, drinking a beer. They take more shots and more shots. Well, on a hot day, Takashi had a few more beers than he was anticipating. And so to answer your question, no, I didn't have to, get ahead of anybody else. I was just so lit by that time that it didn't matter. And so I would just come around, and at at the end of it, where these guys are carrying me around, and I'm doing this, well, I'll tell you, I was feeling no pain.
Awesome. Got a question over here. What's that?
What are the things in the movie that you think will stand up in 30 years' time? What do you think are the things that are kind of timeless about it, that regardless of how our culture changes, if they ever remade it, they would keep that as the core of the movie?
We couldn't remake what we did in 1984.
No.
Nor do I think you should try to remake what we did in 1984. Revenge of the Nerds is at the pinnacle of Hollywood cinema.
I was even confused what the damn question was.
Yeah?
I mean, they tried to remake Revenge of the Nerds. I don't know if you're aware of that. They did a remake of it. And they started to do a remake of it. And we were not involved in it. But they were shooting it, I think, at Duke. I might get Duke University.
Yeah.
And they had just gone through the sexual assault thing at Duke.
Yeah, with the soccer players?
With the
hockey players?
Whatever it was.
Players.
And I probably am wrong about all of it, so my apologies to Duke and my apologies to all of you. But it was something that they had happened. And they had read a script for Revenge of the Nerds, which was not exactly what was being filmed, and they were basically trying to outgross us. This was whenever it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago, 10 years, 20 years ago, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And they were trying to be more explicit than ours was, because ours was considered passé. I would say wrong. Yeah. And when they found out what they were actually shooting on their campus, they pulled the plug on the movie, and it was never finished.
Yes.
It exists in some form somewhere.
A scene or two.
A scene or two.
Or 2 weeks worth. That's what it is.
And that was it. I mean, yes, there's stuff in the movie that would not be, that wasn't appropriate then, and it would certainly be less appropriate now. But what I said before about the end of the movie, about getting teary-eyed about, yes, I'm almost done, that I would be getting teary-eyed about those last speeches. That's what Revenge of the Nerds is for me.
Yeah, I mean, to answer your question, I think, honestly, all of us have felt that we were the underdog at some point in time in our life, right? But basically what we're doing is we're celebrating our uniqueness, and I think the thing to carry away is basically we're all worthwhile, and we all can win, no matter who we are. It's true. So that's kind of the message. That's going to carry on. We have a few minutes left, so we'll wrap it up with these two. The talent show.
The talent show.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, there's a talent show?
The guy that played Lamar, the African-American, he was the one that wrote the rap for that particular sequence.
No way.
Yeah,
And he also was a choreographer. He choreographed it. Yeah.
Very talented, yeah.
Thank you all for coming out to see us.
Thanks, everybody.